Hey boots, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be very informative. I'm going to go back to the basics, and that is what concealer is, primer is, color correctors is, foundation, all of that. Okay, so first let's start with priming. I have very oily skin, so I like to use a primer that's going to mattify my oil, and that's kind of going to put a blockage on my oil. I don't want anything that's moisturizing because my skin is already moisturized. I don't want anything like that, but I need something that's going to mattify my oil. I always use the Makeup Forever Step 1 Equalizer. It is a base mattifying primer. So I take this thing and I get oil mainly here. This is where I get all of my oil. So I take this primer just like such and I rub it in. Now sometimes people do get oil on their forehead. I'm not normally an oily forehead girl. I like to go for a glowy forehead, so I put my highlight there. Sometimes people do get oily on the tip of their nose. They call it the T-zone. I don't necessarily get oily there neither. I put glow there too, so the oil never slips through that. So that's that. The first step to any skin makeup application, you always want to wash your skin. You always. My face washes in the shower, so I use the Clean & Clear Day and Night skin cleaner. It's orange and the other one's blue. I always wash my skin and then I moisturize it. I go in with some cocoa butter, put that on my face. My skin is cool. Then I follow up with my primer. So again, that was Makeup Forever. Now I have really oily eyelids. Now the thing for oily eyelids is you want to combat that, because then you'll see if you don't, your eyeshadow will start to crease. You don't want to place powder on top of oil, especially oil that's not mattified yet, because again it'll start to crease. That's just like on your face. So I always go in with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This is the original one, and this works very well for oily eyelids. I haven't even researched another product that'll work really good for this. I just know this is what I've been sticking to when I found out, so it's a holy grail of mine. Don't have to use that much and just rub it in and it controls my oil. Okay, so next I want to talk about concealers and color correctors. As you see, my skin is the perfect skin. I have not only places that need to be color corrected, but also concealed. So I have dark circles. Not only do I have dark circles, I have dark eyelids. This is what I conceal. Now, I have blemishes on my face here, and these are what you want to color correct and or conceal. Color correction only just evens out the skin tone. It gives you a great base to applying foundation. If you have darkness around your mouth or little blemishes like that, you can either conceal them, which masks it all up also, or you can color correct it. So for the purpose of this video, usually I'll conceal it, but just to give you some info on color correcting, I'm going to do both. So this is the LA Girl Pro Conceal color corrector, simply in the color orange. They came out with this but 2 or 3 summers ago. I just take a dab because this is super pigmented and I don't need a lot of that. And simply for coverage, I always tell people to tap. Use your finger and tap. If you swipe, you'll notice that you're pulling the product away. Do not swipe for coverage. If you want coverage, tap. You're also going to learn that I'm a full coverage girl in this video, so everything. I mean, if I'm wearing makeup, I'm go all or go home. I'm just really full coverage. So I'm just going to tap this. And like I said, this is very pigmented. As you see, that color, that orange color is super pigmented, super prevalent in this product. So I can kind of bring this over to my mouth if I wanted to lessen the product up, and so that it's just not orange on my face. So that kind of evens my skin, and of course you can tell that the orange is on my face. It's going to help with better makeup application. Let's move on to concealer, one of my favorite, my holy grails I never would live life without. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal, but in my color, Beautiful Bronze. This thing is amazing for color. I'm not color correcting, but concealing. I love this. So I'm going to conceal it under my eyes, and then I'm going to put a little bit up here. Now what I'm also going to do is leave this side for my dark circles. I'm going to leave it alone because there's 2 things you can do when it comes to concealing. You conceal it before foundation, so you put it under your foundation, or you conceal it after. So I'm going to show you the difference on what it looks like. Personally, well, what I've been doing lately just to kill time is I'll just do it as a highlight, or I'll just do it after I put my foundation on. I used to do it all the time under my makeup, but I was just like, oh, it's taking too long. Let me just put the foundation on and then go over top, you know? So again, for coverage, you just simply want to tap. I'm tapping this in under my eyes. I'm going to bring it down because I have this line over my nose. And I'm only going to do half my nose here because I want to show you guys what the other half will look like when I put foundation on top. So now I'm just going to go up to my eyelids and I'm just tapping this. And as you see, it's covering the darkness of my under eyes and my circles. This also, I mean my under eyes, my eyelids and my dark circles. And this also is just going to give me a smooth base to work with. Wow, what a difference. Do you see that? And as you see, the eye looks a little smaller too. So concealing is a big part to my makeup application because I really need to cover these two, especially since I'm a full coverage girl. Now let's move on to foundation. Okay, so for the purpose of showing a foundation that's really going to match the color of my skin, I'm going to go in with the Lancome 24 Hour Ultra Tint whatever makeup foundation. My color is in the color 550 Suede C. Now my favorite foundation of all time that I wear like every day, my baby, is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus. Perfect for oily skin, people that wear matte. And it's just a mattifying foundation, goes on really smooth. I get so many comments when I wear this, but again, just for the color match, I'm going to go in with this, and I'm also going to show you the difference with coverage. Only because this is a full coverage foundation, but this is even fuller coverage. So when I put this on top of this, you won't really see the difference, and I want you guys to see the difference. So I know you guys have questions like, okay, well now you're about to apply foundation, what brush do you use? I'm going to always recommend, especially for coverage, a flat top foundation brush. As you see, this one is dirty. I think both of them are dirty actually, yeah. So flat top foundation brushes. e.l.f. has a really good one. I use this to set my powder, but I started off using this. This is only like, I think the price went up, so $5 at e.l.f. Perfect foundation brush. Here's a better one that's just not dirty. So these brushes here are from Coastal Scents. Between the two, I like the black ones better instead of this white one. I'm just going to go ahead and apply this foundation. So again, you always want to tap. I cannot stress that enough. I see a lot of people, especially when I go in these makeup stores, and they just start swiping a foundation on their face, and it's like, no, buddy, you don't swipe, you tap. So I'm simply just going to tap this into my skin, and again, it's a flat top brush, so it's going to do the work for me. It's going to move that foundation around as it's tapping. It's really pressing this foundation into the skin for all that extra coverage you want. And again, I'm a full coverage girl, so I'm just going to go the long way. And as I told you, this foundation is like a perfect skin match, so it gives me an even base. I'm going to take the foundation over top of my eyelids like such. Then I'm going to move on up to my forehead. Just a perfect match, perfect blend to the foundation. So as you see, this side is super smooth. That little blemish that I had there, and I color corrected, is even out. My under eye, my dark circles, my eyelids, that is even, that is really smooth. Now to come over to this side, I'm going to continue to tap, but I want to focus majority of the product up here too, so I can conceal this, but I want to still move it around my face. So I'm tapping, I'm getting over by my mouth and my nose. And let's get to the eyes. And again, I want to focus a lot of product there, so I'm just going to tap it and make sure I'm blending it in. And as you see, it is concealing. This is what it looks like. As you see, that foundation did really good with covering my dark circles and covering my eyes, but I want to show you what it looks like when you put concealer on top. So I'm going to go back in with this concealer, apply it to my under eye, tap some on my eyelid, and now let's go ahead and blend this in. Because this still looks a little patchy or even, I'm just going to take my foundation brush and also tap this in so it can give me an even smoother coverage, because the other side is smooth, and that's because I applied it under. So I want both sides to look identical. So my brush just helps me with the blending process. And voila, there it is. So just a general makeup rule, whenever you're done with liquids, you want to set it with a powder, because that setting powder or that face powder is going to stop the creasing or, you know, decrease the creasing. So for my eyelids, because they are oily, I'm going to set it with the powder, and then I'll go in with my eye makeup. If I'm not wearing eye makeup, I definitely want to set it with a powder because my eyelids crease. And as you can see, they're starting to crease right now because I've been having this one sit here, and then, you know, this one is here without the powder. So I'm going to go in with one of these cosmetic wedges. You can get these from Rite Aid, Walgreens. They look like such. And I'm just going to go ahead and set this. Now, I'm using the Black Opal Deluxe Setting Powder. I talked about this before. And because I'm going without eye makeup, I'm just going to use it. I'm going to tap it onto my eyes like this. This tapping is also going to make sure the product is really pushed into the eyelid so that it can seal in that liquid of a foundation and concealer that we use, so that I don't have creasing on my eyelids throughout the day. And you can add more. Just make sure that you truly blend this out so that the color contrast is not there from your eyelids. You just want it to be super duper smooth. So as you know, in my previous videos, I don't normally use these. I used to use these back in the day. I just use my finger to tap it. But if you're not comfortable using your finger and you just have to use something, these are really cheap, good alternatives to kind of like pack that powder in and you're good to go. Okay, so this portion here is when I will go into highlighting and contouring. Now, a couple years ago, I want to say like 2, I did a very good highlighting and contouring video. This video got so many hits. So I'm going to link that right here because I'm going to skip that during this tutorial. You can go check it out right here. This is the secrets to highlighting and contouring. You want to contour popping, you want to learn how to highlight, you want to know what it's for. This video is definitely, just look at the feedback on that video. It'll definitely show you that this is something worth watching your time for. Very informative. So now that your base is applied, you can go ahead and paint your canvas. So I'm going to come back. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight and contour right quick. But again, go ahead and check that little icon in the top on it right here on the screen. Just check the icon. You can go to that so you can figure out how to do that process. And also, for the sake of this video, like I said, I'm going to go without eye makeup because I have another video coming. And I don't know if it's going to come before or after this, but it's basically applying false lashes. If that video comes up before this, you can also check right here. I'll pop it into the cards. But I think I'll release this video before I release the false lashes. Anyways, your girl will be back. As you see, I done already did my highlight, contour, and apply my lashes and my lipstick. And that's the finished look. I mean, this is the finished look. So again, if you want to see the whole highlighting, contouring, glow secrets, all that stuff, click that little icon right there. I just filmed a tutorial on how to apply false lashes, so that should be out pretty soon following this video. And that is it. I really hope that this was informative. I love teaching the basics of foundation because it's amazing what it could do, and it's amazing the coverage, and there's just how good it makes you feel when you understand what you're doing and how to start somewhere. Don't forget, always start with a clean palette, so make sure you clean and moisturize your face. Always remember, if you're using a liquid, you only apply powder after you're done with all the liquids. After you're done, powder, you cannot mix liquids and powder, put on the powder, apply liquid on top of it after you're done. So yeah, I hope that this was perfect. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I hope it helped someone. I'm NeneTanae to all my new subbies. Hey boos, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye y'all.